You're listening to the Overcast.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day.
Part of the Oversoul Gaming channel. Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the Overcast, the joke-making, fun-having pop culture podcast. I am your host, Justin, aka Oversoul.
And I am your co-host, Nick, aka the Vaping Fiend.
Yes, and we're bringing you sunshine on a cloudy day, like always. And, the date currently in which we are recording this episode is,
November 12th.
Yes, November 12th, 2023. I have to say that every time now because we often record these episodes way ahead of time and sometimes release them out of order for one reason or another. So,
Yes.
So for that reason, I tell you the date at the beginning so that you have context for when it was recorded, so that you know how old the news and information you're hearing is.
Yes.
That being said, though, please still watch these episodes in numerical order. I released them that way for a reason. Before we get started, this is the post-Thanksgiving episode, so the topic is going to be usually around these time of year. People are always talking about the things they're thankful about. We're going to be subversive and naughty, and we're going to talk about, we're gonna do something that may get us lumps of coal in our stockings this year, and we're gonna be
unthankful.
Unthankful, yes. We're gonna talk about media-related things specifically that we are not particularly fans of. Some of these things you will hear and you'll be like, oh yeah, I see that, me too. Other things you'll hear and you'll be like, what? That's controversial, my friend. And and that's
Them is fighting words.
yeah. And that is the point. But we'll get there eventually. Before that, though, and before the life updates, a reminder to our audience that it is about time for my Guess My Top 10 Games of the Year contest that I have over on YouTube. If you listened to the last episode, where we talked about our Game Awards predictions, which we will have had recorded by the time you're hearing this,
Yes.
then you already know about it, but just in case, every year I do a contest to go along with the official Game Awards. I have my own personal top 10 games of the year list, and I hold a little contest at the end of November, and I give you basically a month to get your guesses in, but you watch this little video, I explain it in the video, and then I give you some hints as to what the games are on my list. And then I show you 5 to 10 seconds of 15 to 20 different games, and out of those 15 to 20 games that I played this year and liked, you have to guess which ones are in my top 10, and which I will have already decided by then, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be fair. And
Right.
And also, which one is my game of the year? Here's why you want to participate. Because you can win money in the form of a gift card. And this is gaming related, so your winnings will be gaming related. A gift card of your choice for any gaming platform or game. PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, Steam, Epic Game Store. You want Fortnite V-Bucks? You want Roblox Bucks? You want Game Shark shit for the GTA stuff, shark cards or whatever. I don't care what it is. If you come in first, second, or third place, you win. Different when first place, $50. Second place, $20. Third place, $10. And yes, there can be more than one winner because I hardly ever have enough people participate in this for it to matter. Last year, I had 7 winners, and everybody got their winnings by the end of February. I'm a man of my word. So, yeah. They did not all win first place, by the way. I meant 7 overall winners. Yeah, I had 2 first place winners, 3 second place winners, and 2 third place winners, or something like that.
Nice.
I don't think that's 7, but no, that was 6. There was one more. But yeah, anyways, this is super easy. You have such a strong chance of winning, and also if you guess my game of the year correctly, you
Yeah.
you get bonus points. You get 1 point for every game you guess correctly. You don't have to guess.
Mm.
You don't have to guess the order. You just have to guess the games. You get 1 point for every game guessed correctly, and then you get a bonus 10 points if you get the game of the year correct, which means that you can win a total of 20 points altogether if you somehow manage to guess every game correctly and the game of the year. So, yeah.
Okay.
No one has ever gotten 100% correct. The closest I've ever gotten is 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
Yeah, the closest, and I think that was like Dalton or Mythos or somebody that guessed like very strong, or maybe Dylan. Somebody made a guess last year though that was like almost perfect. Like literally, they were like 1 game off.
Okay.
And the one they were wrong about was a really good guess. So, so yes. So
I will be participating in this year.
Oh,
Watch out, y'all. Watch out.
Hell yeah. And yeah, this man has been listening for the past half a year, me talk on this show about the games I loved and hated throughout the year, so he's definitely participating.
Some would say that I have an unfair advantage, but you guys have just as much as an advantage as I do.
I was gonna say, yeah, no more than anyone who listens to this on a regular basis.
Right. At that, and you guys watch the probably a majority of you guys watch the Let's Plays on his channel.
I don't know about all that. That overlap isn't happening as much. This podcast's majority of listeners seem to be coming from other sources like Spotify, whereas...
I mean, I've been plugging the podcast left and right, so we've probably got listeners that I've recommended to.
Yeah, we definitely have more... we definitely have more listeners than viewers for the podcast. So, but that being said, the only thing you're really missing is pictures of the shit we're talking about anyways. And if we're talking about a video game, I put the gameplay footage up. The Halloween episode was meant to be visually watched, that one for a reason, but like everything else is like, unless you want to see the gameplay of what we're talking about in video games, you're fine either way. Listen. So
by the way, I have to say, the memorial that you put in at the end of that Halloween episode for my buddy Chewy, rest in peace, buddy. I know you were a loyal listener to the show. You're missed, man.
Yeah, that the in memoriam.
That was, dude, I lost my shit when I saw that. I'm not even gonna lie, I lost my shit. He was one of my best friends.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to put it into words, but I don't really think there is a word for the emotion that you feel when you're editing something like that and you're trying to make it just right, you know, knowing that there's a reason that like the picture of him in and of itself is the last thing that faded out, you know, after the background, after the text, you know, that it was just him, you know, that was an artistic choice on my end. And I felt like,
yeah, it was good. I loved it.
Yeah. See, that's the, you know, you don't want to belittle the experience by making it sound like you're like, artistically profiting off of a tragedy, because that's not what it is. It's more like using your skills to pay respect, you know?
Exactly.
Using your talents to, to get it right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm glad it turned out good, because that is not the kind of thing I would want to botch. So.
Right. No. Yeah. I. No. You did good.
But anywho, besides going to be furiously working on the top 10 list here soon, and all that going on, I can't say for sure because of the time I'm recording this, but I may or may not have had a Thanksgiving with the family by the time you're hearing this.
Right.
Probably the weekend after, maybe. Probably at my brother's house, I guess.
I don't even know what the plan is for my family for their Thanksgiving at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to get
I
back
know.
to y'all on that one.
I do know. I do know. Though well, this is. I do know that my supervisor at work is so long as everybody pitches in, so long as everybody pitches in at least $3, um, she's gonna make sure that we have like a Thanksgiving dinner at work before shift.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the $3 is to guarantee that we get a plate and to help her get the ingredients for what she's making because she's gonna do all the cooking.
Thanksgiving potluck. Oh,
Yes.
cooking. So not a potluck. So okay.
No, yeah, no, she's gonna be making it.
Damn. Okay, that is okay.
She's gonna be making it. It's a homemade Thanksgiving dinner from my supervisors. I'm not gonna say no. She can have $3. I'm gonna make sure I get a plate because
Yeah, that's an easy ask. That's an easy ask.
Yeah, $3. That she knows she gets it. Times are tough.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, speaking of work and all that, that's really all the only thing that's going on. The new job is going well so far, it seems. I won't be getting a whole lot of hours on account of it being seasonal work and all, but it does look like closer to, like, within the next week or so here, it's going to pick up a little bit as we, get closer to certain holidays and whatnot. But basically, I've either been in the back of the store breaking down pallets and sorting them onto other pallets based off the product that it is so it can go out to the floor and be stocked, or I'm on the floor stocking the tech area. And for a while there, it was all about getting it, where it needs to go. Today, though, because I didn't have any tech freight, instead I spent my time there completely reorganizing the tech area so that it looked a lot more like approachable, because we have like a problem with like stuff wasn't like in the right spots because it was people who were there before me were stocking it based off of like what looks like what instead of what its price is. And this is the kind of store where everything that's the same price needs to be on the same shelf. It doesn't matter if they're from the same family or not. If one Avengers headset is $5 and another is $5.55, then they're going on different shelves, Yeah. I reorganized the whole thing and I made it look a lot nicer and neater, and it's very it's all like arranged by price properly and all that, and it looks a lot better. It was an absolute disaster before, but it's good now. So yeah. And outside of that, that's the long and short of it. And I'll say here that I finished season 2 of Loki. The finale was absolutely insane. I won't say any spoilers here on the show, but holy hell.
There you go.
If you're a fan of Norse mythology, I think you'll like this ending, for sure.
Okay.
And yeah, it's one of those things where, like, when you fuck around with time travel shit way too much, you can end up writing yourself into a corner. And they wrote themselves out of that corner in the most perfect way they possibly could. So
okay.
And we got more Jonathan Majors in this one, who you may remember from season 1 as He Who Remains, and from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania as Kang the Conqueror. And he is back in this one as Victor Timely. And yeah, Owen Wilson continues to be entertaining. Tara Strong as an animated clock who's also a villain is very, like, really good. I loved it. I'm not, see, this is why I didn't do a media corner for it, because that's all I can say. I literally can't like, normally I can talk about things spoiler-free, give a spoiler-free review. Not this season of this show. It's physically impossible. There's no way in hell I can talk about it at all without spoilers any more than I already did. And then Short Round from Indiana Jones is in it. I butcher his name every time I might say it, so I'm not gonna try to say it. But yeah, that's the long and short of that. I finished that, and yeah. Nothing else. Nothing else really. Had Jimmy John's for the first time in a long time today. It was
there
good.
you go.
Yeah, I had the bacon ranch,
Ooh,
chicken
okay.
bacon ranch barbecue wrap.
Oh, that sounds yummy right now.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my god.
It was so good. Yeah.
I played more of Man of Medan.
Ooh yeah.
Oh my gosh, it just keeps getting better.
Has anyone died? Has anyone died yet?
Conrad.
Oh, what happened? What'd you do?
It was okay, so what happened was he was getting chased around by this ghost that was a modeled after like a pinup girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it followed him up the, like, what would be considered an exhaust pipe for a ship.
Conrad's the Sean Ashmore character, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's right. Okay, he wasn't even on the ship for me. I remember we talked about this.
Yes. And it gave me the option to either confront the ghost or jump. I didn't factor in how far the jump was.
Oops.
So I figured, okay, I'm probably gonna die. He's probably gonna die either way. That's probably rigged like this, so that because the choice I should have made was to have him go on the rescue boat. So I chose to have him jump, and he died on impact. Well, he cracked the back of his skull open.
Right. Just for context, if it sounds like we're continuing a conversation that you haven't heard the beginning of, folks, that's because it's in an episode that you haven't heard yet.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. The episode that we're recording after this one will be coming out before it, and the episode we recorded before this one will be coming out after it. So.
Oh, god damn it!
Yes. Yeah.
Oops.
The Tearjerkers.
Spoiler alert.
The Tearjerkers episode is coming out in the beginning of December. Then followed by the Game Awards discussion, and then we'll be doing a holiday media episode, like our favorite Christmas movies, and TV show specials, or holiday specials and shit like that. Just like holiday related shit in general, media wise.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll be taking a winter break, and then we'll come back after the New Year's and do our 2023 year in review.
Yes.
So that's our game plan. So that
I'll be a whole nother year older, but when we record that one.
Yeah. And by that point we'll be caught up again, and we'll be recording these in real time again. We're just because of time sensitive shit and like schedules and stuff like that, it really started with the fact that we had to record that Halloween episode way ahead of time. Because of other people's schedules. So
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But, all right. Well, besides Man of Medan, what else is new?
Just been working a lot. Yesterday at work. Fucking okay. So I get up into the trailer that they have me in. So they had me in the California truck last night. And I get into the truck, and I see graffiti written on the inside of the fucking trailer. Someone drew a fucking penis with jizz coming off the end of it. The whole shaft, balls, and the whole 9 yards. And a swastika on the other side.
Oh my god.
I'm like... supervisor lady, there's you should probably see this. And then that towards the very back of the trailer, there was a hole in the floor that looked like they attempted to patch it up but didn't have much luck. That was a bigger issue than the graffiti.
For the love of God.
So they had to completely swap out the trailer, and my volume was coming down the ramp, and it got so backed up so many times. I called down to the supervisor on duty. I'm like, hey, is it possible that we could get like a third person in here, like one constantly playing traffic jam, breaking the jam while me and this guy here load the shit in the truck? They're like, yeah, I can do that. Like, perfect. Work smarter, not harder.
There you go. There you go.
Work smarter, not harder, folks.
That's the way to do it. But yeah, when I was doing seasonal work at UPS last year, on some days there was a lot of downtime, and there was just like,
oh no, this one's we're getting volume for like peak season at this point.
yeah.
And there is, I don't know if I would be able to, given I have my daughter right now. But there are opportunities to make more money with the company, and that is basically be like a package runner during the day, and then I would go to my shift at night. So basically, I would ride along in one of the big brown trucks, and I would run the packages up to the door for the driver, and I would make money while doing so.
I almost did that before I ended up being a line person.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, just because like they didn't have any openings. Like I was in line to do the packet to do the truck thing, but they didn't have any openings, and they were like, "Well, we hired you, so we got to give you work." So we're like, "I guess we'll put you on the line."
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's okay.
That's how that came to be, and then seasonal ended, and all the seasonal workers left. They didn't keep any of the seasonal workers last year, just because it wasn't busy enough to justify it.
Right. My a buddy of mine had applied, and he had applied for like a seasonal position, but then I told him like, hey, see if you can get that application switched to like a full-time position, because if there's any full-time positions open, that is. Because the starting rate for full-time workers is $21 an hour. Yes, it is part-time, but you also get union benefits when you reach 30 days worked. Not 30 days of employment, 30 days of work. And the insurance is free. Once you reach the allotted amount of time you need to be with the company to receive benefits, which is like 6 months. But the insurance is free so long as you're paying your union dues. And from my understanding, it is phenomenal insurance. And there are some people that only work at the UPS just for the benefits, and they have a second job.
Okay.
Yeah. From what I hear, the benefits are amazing.
Well, here's to hoping you get hired on full time then once the.
Well, that's the thing with UPS. There's been people that have worked there for 15, 20 years before they ever got full time.
Oh.
It's all based on seniority.
I see. Okay. Well.
It's all based on seniority.
Woof, that is a long line. That's like waiting for the roller coaster at Six Flags long.
That's what I'm fucking saying, bro. Like,
oh, criminy and
Amazon's looking pretty nice right about now.
Okay.
At least they have day one benefits.
Yeah. Oh god.
But
Yeah, and I hear they actually let you use toilets now.
yeah, they do. They do
Oh, moving up in the world.
a little
Uh,
bit.
all right. Well, that sounds like a good enough life update to me. So I'm just gonna
Yeah,
go ahead and shimmy on, dimly skimly on over here to the media corner, scoobopity boop bop doo, and all that.
yes.
Is this an Avengers test?
All right, everyone, here we are at the media corner, the part of the show for the news, reviews, and recommendations. And
Yes.
yeah,
We've got some big news in this one.
yeah. You want to kick
I
us
think
off? You want to kick us off with that?
I think everyone's been waiting to hear this. The actors strike is over, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, bro. So many new so many announcements. Bruh. Bruh.
Did you just tried to do the pew 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 horde and
I
it
guess.
came out this I said pew 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 and this man said yeah like what no man that's the failure buzzer at a basketball game. What is like this he sounds like a fucking goose got stepped on. Like
Oh my god.
he's
Oh my god. Oh.
freaking bagpipe with throat cancer. What the hell? Oh my god. All right. Well, with that celebratory out of the way,
So
you want
many
to tell
new
us?
so many new things are coming out of this.
Of course.
Oh, and I'm so excited. And I've talked about this. This just to rattle off a list that I can think of off the top. Well, the one thing that really comes to mind is my daughter's been watching this movie a lot lately. Inside Out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Inside Out 2 was confirmed by Disney right after the actors' strike fucking dropped.
Yep. That's a big.
I got that. That's a big one, and I'm so excited for the second one. The trailer itself was enough to be like, "Yep, I'm hooked."
Yeah, the fact that we're getting Maya Hawke in it because she's great. I love her. She was in Stranger Things. Uh, she plays one of the new emotions, anxiety, in this one, and
Okay.
so we didn't like. So I watched the trailer too. And at the end, they talk about all these new emotions coming in. It like goes through the names of them really, really fast. And
Yes.
there's also a poster out that you can look at that
Mm-hmm.
that shows them peeking their heads up under this manhole underneath the main ones.
Yeah.
And so I have a prediction. Here's what I predict. Those four. We already know anxiety. She's been confirmed.
Yes.
She's been confirmed in the trailer. The other three in that poster that you can barely see are the pink one is embarrassment.
Okay.
These are teenager emotions, remember. So
yes, because Riley's a teenager at this point.
Right. The purple one is boredom, I believe.
Okay.
And
I was bored a lot as a teenager, so yeah, I could agree with that.
And the little blue one with the sparkly eyes that has a sense of wonderment, that's envy. That is like
Ooh.
like being envious or even jealous of other people, but like
Okay.
like envy to the point of idolizing someone else. Like maybe there's like the cool girl in high school that she idolizes and she wants to be like her. That's probably what that little character is going to take care of, that kind of shit.
Probably,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, squeezed in a little Inside Out excitement there, but yeah.
Yeah, sure did.
But yeah, the actor's strike. Woo. There's something, and I'll get to it here in a minute when it's my turn. But there is something else to come out of this that I'm going to talk about that is Marvel related. So,
okay.
Yeah,
no, it's so many new things are coming out after this. I'm just excited that we're finally going to be getting new movies now or new announcements at this point. And maybe seeing some things that are gonna like that were talked about at first, but now that everything's over, can now come into fruition.
Yes. Actually, another thing that immediately happened after the strikes were over was that we got an actual actor to host SNL. The very first SNL episode to come out after the strikes ended was hosted by Timothy Chalamet.
Okay.
Probably plugging his new Willy Wonka movie.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
Oh, Jason Momoa is hosting the next one.
Nice. I have to throw this in here because he was at one point a host and musical guest of Saturday Night Live. Machine Gun Kelly posted something on his Instagram about saying, "Oh, if I don't get cast as Link in the live-action Zelda film, there's gonna be problems." Like, bro, like, yeah,
He ain't though, man. That's not.
No.
He's not. He's
No.
definitely not what they're looking for. He's
No,
definitely not like
definitely
this.
not.
It's
Toad, he's too fucking tall.
nothing wrong with dreaming, but yeah, no. I see a lot of people saying that Link is more of like a Tom Holland role. You know?
Yeah, I could see Tom Holland as Link
Yeah.
easily
Yeah.
before Machine Gun Kelly. No, fuck off with that, bro. Go back to Cleveland. The fuck?
That's a lot.
I love your music, but goddamn,
yeah.
you're doing too much, Coulson.
But back on the matter of the strikes, though, it's worth pointing out because I heard this when I watched Dead Meat's video about it. That the studios were basically trying to play hardball. They were like, "Look, we're gonna do the AI thing, like it or not. That's the best we can offer you. Take it or leave it." And the actors were like, "Leave it." You know, they're like, "We're not budging." They stood firm, and eventually the companies caved. They finally caved. That was the big thing. The actors held out for so long that the corporations, the distribution companies, the Warner Brothers and the Lionsgates and the shit like that, they all finally caved and said, "Okay."
Fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
No, fucking good. Like, well, we're gonna pay you once for your likeness, and then we own you. No, if you're gonna use their likeness, they better get the fucking royalties from it. The fuck?
Exactly. So yeah, it's good to know. This is good for everyone, though. It's good for the actors, because the thing we have to remember, it's very easy to point out, yeah, sure, a lot of the actors and people that were without work, they weren't hurting or nothing because they had their residuals and shit still, you know?
Yeah.
But you know who was hurting is the people behind the scenes that you don't see, the cameramen, the crew people, the makeup artists, the people who don't have millions and millions of dollars in fancy mansions to fall back on, you know?
Exactly.
Those are the... You know, those are the people who were hurt the most by it, and that was...
Oh, I believe it.
It's good for them that they can finally get back to work, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, good all around. Good for everybody. And good for the audience, too, because we get the thing... Not that was the important part, but, you know, things can finally start flowing again, you know, moving forward. So... all good stuff.
Yes.
Well, on that note, another thing to come out of it, and a piece of news that I have, because I have one of each today. One news, one review, one recommend. Excuse me. So, my news is that next year, for the first time in a long time, Marvel is slowing down. And Deadpool 3 will be the one and only MCU movie to come out in the entire year of 2024.
Oh, man.
Now, that is not to say that...
That's unheard of.
that's not to say that there won't be shows, too, but they've been doing a pattern of, like, releasing 3 movies and 3 shows every year. Next year, 1 movie. And I think this is going to be a good thing for several reasons. One...
Yeah, it might... Yeah.
If you're going to put 1 MCU movie out in a year, just 1...
Let it...
Deadpool,
yeah, let it be a banger.
Yeah, Deadpool is the one. Yeah.
Let it be a banger like Deadpool, right.
Right, yeah, definitely something like that. And not only that, but the superhero... Like, I haven't been hit by it, personally. I mean... maybe a little bit, maybe a smidgen, like to an extent. It's like I'm not as hype as I used to be, but I still enjoy everything, and it feels kind of like I'm just along for the ride now. Like it's an enjoyable ride. But like post Endgame, a lot of people got hit with the superhero fatigue, and they're not as into it as they used to be. And now it feels like there's just too much to catch up on. And sometimes people want to.
That's exactly how I feel.
And sometimes people want to see one of the movies, but then they're like, "Oh shit!" But in order to understand what's going on, I probably got to watch like 7 TV shows, And it's like, yeah,
Very
so
fucking much. That's why I'm picking and choosing what I watch in the MCU. The fuck.
so
Picking and choosing.
yeah, so I think that this is actually going to be a good thing because like it's the Ubisoft thing with Assassin's Creed, right? They kept pushing the games out like one every year for so long, and it got kind of people got tired of it after a while. So after Valhalla, they took a break for a while. Then they came back this year with Assassin's Creed Mirage, and it was a fucking banger. So sometimes a break is what you need. Let's not forget that Marvel does have plans to bring the X-Men and Fantastic Four into the MCU, and and that's down the line here, coming up very, very soon. We're getting closer and closer to the X-Men shit for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. But the other thing is that I think in general, like DC's probably still gonna be putting shit out, but like I think in general, this will be a good thing for Marvel if they can kind of like just kind of slow down and give people a year to take a breather. It'll give them a quote unquote tolerance break. And let them reignite that passion again, Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe this year break. I mean, if somebody's already hit with superhero fatigue, I highly doubt it. But maybe for some people, that year break, like that year of not new things coming out, would be like a good time for them if they wanted to catch up on the stuff they've missed that they want to see, so they don't feel like so far behind when the new stuff comes out. You know what I mean? Like some of that might be a problem too. It's like the sunk cost fallacy. At some point, you're weighing like the time versus effort on a scale. So, and for a lot of people, it's not so much about how much there is to watch, so much as it is trying to keep up with what's still coming out and catching up on what they missed at the same time. It's
exactly
more so they're like, well, if there's a year break from new stuff coming out, that gives me time to catch up on the stuff I haven't seen. So it can be. I feel like this is a good thing all around, no matter how it works for people.
Yeah.
It's just
no, absolutely
a nice breather. That we can all take a brief intermission, if you will. And speaking of Deadpool 3, definitely excited for that. There's a dog in this one, and his name is Dogpool, and he is...
Oh, really?
He is a version of Deadpool from another universe where he is a dog, and he got his powers from having, like...
Oh, they're doing the multiverse shit with this. Nice.
How else do you think it's part of the MCU?
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, and Dogpool got his powers from cosmetic surgery experiments.
Okay.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. Plus, Wolverine's in this one too. So
yes, in his glorious blue and yellow suit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I think I speak for all Marvel fans when I say we've been waiting for this.
I'm just curious to see if certain things that have come to be lately that I will not spoil as scenes in recent movies will somehow play into this movie when it comes out as well.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm talking about because I told you. But so I do wonder. But okay, well, that was both of our pieces of news. Do you have any other news or reviews or recommendations for us?
At the time of this recording, this happened maybe a couple weeks ago. Um, but there was a tragedy that uh, happened, and I only recently started watching this show earlier this year, and I love it. It's fucking hilarious. A staple from the '90s. Friends, rest in peace, Matthew Perry. Another one gone way too soon. Um, Apparently the 911 operators got call of a about a 54-year-old male who had like drowned in his hot tub at his in his home or outside of his home. But there was no narcotics or alcohol found in the vicinity. All of his co-stars from Friends attended his private funeral service. This this was a quote from all of his cast members, his castmates. We are all so utterly devastated by the loss of Matthew. We were more than just castmates, we were a family. Their statement read, there is so much to say, but right now we're going to take a moment to grieve and process this unfathomable loss. In time we will say more as and when we are able. The statement continued, for now, our thoughts and our love are with Maddie's family, his friends, and everyone who loved him around the world. Now, I give props to Lisa Kudrow, who played the role of Phoebe in Friends. From the sounds of it, I have read that she is considering adopting Matthew Perry's dog,
Aw,
taking him in.
that's
Yeah,
that's sweet.
who better to go with than someone who Matt was close with? You know, like
Yeah,
I mean, like their statement said, we weren't just castmates, we were a family.
yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes people grossly underestimate like how close a lot of the actors grow to each other when they're doing like seasons upon seasons of a show that runs forever and ever. Like
Oh, look,
they're growing up together, they become a family. And there
yeah,
are
exactly.
like think of shows of like The Walking Dead when they kill off a character that's been on there for a long, long time.
Yeah,
When you look at the behind the scenes, you can see the other actors crying because that character's leaving the show. Their friend isn't working with them anymore. They're leaving the job,
yeah,
and it's like oh, we don't get to see each other every day anymore, yada yada, and it's almost like they're dying for real. Like they
right,
get so
exactly.
emotional
I
over
mean,
it.
look at how close the cast of Supernatural got over the 15 seasons that they did.
Yup. Yeah,
When they say that, it's fucking fact. Look at how close Bob Saget, Dave Coulier, and John Stamos were all those years after Full House.
mm-hmm. Yeah. On the flip side, though, there are also stories of people who like famously hated each other on set in different things
Yup.
too.
Yup.
Oh,
There's no doubt about that.
especially apparently, like Megan Fox and Michael Bay constantly got into it on the set of Transformers, like constantly.
Yep. Yep. I remember. I've heard about that.
Oh shit! But yeah, R.I.P. Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
That's always tragic. No, though I don't know how to follow the death of an actor properly, so I'm just gonna jump into it.
There you
Um,
go.
so I went to the movie theaters recently and I saw The Marvels.
How was it?
I really enjoyed it. I don't want to say more than I was expecting it to, because that makes it sound like I had low expectations. That isn't quite the word.
Mm-hmm.
I had I had indifferent expectations. They weren't necessarily
Okay.
they weren't high or low. They were kind of like I was seeing a lot of 7 out of 10s before I saw it, so I was like, okay, that's where I'm going to set my standards then. It ended up being more of an 8 out of 10 for me. So,
Okay.
um, it's very so the story here is that Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Monica
Mm-hmm.
Rambeau are all, because of some shit having to do with rips in space time. Every time one of them uses their powers at the same time as another one, they end up
Uh-huh.
swapping places. So
Oh.
the so
Okay.
because Captain Marvel is basically a god tier superhero at this point, like there's fucking like nothing she can't do. I How do you handicap a character that's basically god? Well, you make it so that they can't use their superpowers efficiently. And
Oh.
so by making it so anytime they use their powers, they swap places randomly with another superhero,
Oof.
So
Okay. That's fucked.
that is how these three girls come to meet each other or meet up with each other. Monica and Carol already knew each other, and Kamala Khan is like a huge fangirl of Captain Marvel, so that leads to a
You
lot of
played as her in the Marvel Avengers game a couple times.
yes, yep, and but so even though this movie is called The Marvels and it's marketed as a sequel to Captain Marvel, it's really not. This is more of a sequel to Miss Marvel than it is anything else, because
Okay.
like her bangle is super important to the story. It focuses on her quite a bit. She gets a lot of character development in this movie, learning a pretty good lesson about how sometimes the people we idolize are also just people like us and
Mm-hmm.
they have feelings too. you know
Miss
um
Marvel being the show that they did it for Disney Plus, right?
yes, and
Okay.
the girl that plays Kamala Khan is awesome. I Kamala, again, part of what makes this movie so fun is her, because
Okay.
she is adorkably charismatic and like
Okay.
infectiously optimistic.
All right.
Yeah, she is like her character is supposed to be like when we were kids geeking out over superheroes. That's her. That's what she is.
Oh, that's awesome.
Um, and she does it to almost cringe levels at time, but it's like it's weirdly endearing.
You know, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. I remember back when the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie came out, and there was a comic book store here in town that's no longer here. They've since been taken over by Top Cut Comics, or I don't even know if that comic book store is even there anymore. But last I knew, it was Top Cut Comics. Back when I was younger, or when the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie came out, it was known as Tomorrow is Yesterday, and it was a comic book store. There was a guy dressed up as Spider-Man doing like comic book signings. So I went, and the line was horrendous, and I got my first comic book signed by signed by a Spider-Man impersonator.
Mm,
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah, I don't
nice.
remember. I don't know what happened to that comic book. I'm not gonna lie.
So
It's long gone at this point.
so
Unfortunately,
that is unfortunate. Wow. Um, the unfortunate Spider-Man. Uh,
if I remember correctly, it was it was an Amazing Spider-Man uh comic book because it had the lizard doctor in it.
Dr. Connors. Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Connors. Yeah, the
Okay.
lizard guy.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Yeah, I'll have a little more on that later too. But um, but back on to the Marvels. Overall, this movie was just a lot of fun. I had someone ask me before how it was, and I said it was a very fun movie, and they're like, "Oh no, that means it's bad." I was like, "What? How do you get that out of fun?" Like, what the
Right,
is fun
no.
bad for you? I don't understand. Um, this movie obviously it didn't do well, unfortunately, because the internet just hates on anything with female leads at this point. So it
Yeah.
so I and it didn't get a lot of good marketing, but but I think people are sleep. Or they're gonna sleep on this movie, and they're gonna be mad that they slept on it because I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, but I will say if you're wondering if this is one of those MCU movies where characters from other movies and shows show up at some point or another, the answer is yes. And
Oh, I believe it.
it's extremely important to the overall MCU lore when they do the shit that it's setting up. But obviously I'm not going to say who and when and why, but I will also say this: the credit scene, of which there's only one in this movie, it's a mid-credit scene. After that, you can leave. The credit scene in this movie has got to be one of the most holy shit jaw-dropping credit scenes in the entire MCU history. Like, there have been some good ones,
Oh,
but this one was like, holy fucking shit. Like, this is like,
they setting up for something big, huh?
yeah, I kind of feel like this, like Marvel intentionally put this particular credit scene at the end of this particular movie just to piss off and punish the people who wouldn't go see it because women. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so, like, they're like, oh, you won't see the movie because of who's in it? Well, you're gonna miss out on one of the best credit scenes ever. Like, obviously, you can just watch it online later or whatever, but, they don't get to see it first. Those of us who went to see this
Right.
movie got rewarded greatly. And
Exactly.
I don't regret a second of it. It was actually a really good movie. It had some very funny lines, some really cool action. Here's the thing:
That's pr-
there's like a whole training scene in this movie because they realize they're like, okay, if we use our powers at the same time, we randomly swap places. And
uh,
how this happens in the beginning of the movie when all three of them are in completely different locations fighting completely different enemies, they keep accidentally swapping places and getting into fights in each other's locations, and it is
uh,
really fucking cool, actually. Like, it's just so fun to watch. It's creative. This is a very original concept for a superhero movie. I've never seen the whole randomly swapping places when we use our powers shit before.
right.
It puts an interesting handicap on it that they've never dealt with before.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
absolutely.
Eh,
I'm probably gonna wait till this one comes to Disney Plus to watch it though, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You're interested in it though. That says a lot,
Yeah, no, I wanna see this.
And yeah, if only for the credit scene. Um
No, I wanna see it for the movie too, because it sounds like a fun movie.
it is very fun. Like, just stupid fun. Like, just turn your
I
brain
saw the
off fun.
trailer and
Yeah.
just the laughs that I got from the trailer made me want to see it.
This is like Barbie movie fun.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's as good as that movie, but it's that kind of like just shut up and enjoy it fun. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That kind of don't think too hard about it. Just enjoy. Um,
Exactly.
and of course, Goose is back in this as the orange cat, who's actually an alien species known as a flurkin, and you can tell that he's an alien because when he opens his mouth, tentacles come out.
It was
Um,
the Flurkins that got me intrigued from the trailer.
Yeah, and so yes, it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. Yes, there is a scene in this movie with a ton of Flurkin kittens running
That's
around.
exactly what got. That's why I was so intrigued. Is the wave of goddamn fucking Flurkin kittens.
Well, here's the other thing too. Remember, these are Flurkins. I know they look like cats, but they're Flurkins. They open their mouth, tentacles come out, and they can eat anything. Like even if it's like 10 times their size, they swallow it whole. And
Yeah.
their mouths are portals to a pocket dimension where they can store things. So it's not like they're eating it, they're storing it because they can regurgitate it back up later. And
That's gross.
But because people know that they could do this, it's fucking hilarious because it's like
Yeah.
you see a little bit of it in the trailer, but you get some scenes in this movie of people running scared from kittens. Because yeah, it's great. I really enjoyed it. The movie surprised me. This is one of those ones that people are prejudging harshly, and they are stupid for doing so because it is actually like way better than they think it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's like objectively, I think this is a very fun movie. I think objectively, it's a 7 out of 10, which is still a C. It's a passing grade.
Yeah.
But for me personally, it's an 8 out of 10. You know.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything really wrong with it per se. It's just that it does eventually, it does eventually fall into the usual pit of Marvel cliches and,
Right.
over CGI'd nonsense and all that. But the fight choreography in this movie is really good. I will say that.
Right.
Especially
I believe it.
because there's a montage scene of them working together and training on how to synchronize their powers and the teleportation thing so that they can use this hindrance as a benefit during combat,
Right.
So, and learn how to sync up that way. And it's really cool how they do it. I fucking enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I'm not going to lie. So
Hell yeah.
I didn't think it's the most fun I've had with an MCU movie since the last Spider-Man. Like,
Right.
Multiverse of Madness was fun, but it was also dark and gritty. And
I still need to watch that.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was fucking depressing.
Yeah.
And I loved it, but it was depressing. This movie is just stupid fun. Like, just fun. So,
Okay.
yeah, definitely really enjoy. But there are a couple of sad moments in it, a couple of serious moments, but overall, very fun. So,
Okay.
solid 8 out of 10 out of me. So,
There you go.
You got a third thing for us today.
I do. So last I knew, Carlos Mencia was long gone from the stand-up comedy scene. I was browsing Peacock, and I saw that this man has a new comedy special. And in said
Okay.
comedy special, he mentions that, you can Google it. I am the first person that the internet has ever tried to cancel. And I still came back. Or some shit like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, like,
Well,
he's funny. He's
that's-
funny. Like,
that's because I do have to say something about that because someone from CinemaSins said it best one time, and I can't repeat what they said verbatim so this is paraphrasing, but basically they said canceling isn't real. They said it's one of two things. It's either A, it's consequences of your actions, in which case you deserve it, or B, it's people overreacting to something, in which case it'll die down eventually and you'll come back. They said if you come back, that's proof that you were never canceled in the first place.
that's fair.
Like, everyone who's been quote-unquote canceled has somehow, some way bounced back unless they actually really deserved it. Like Roseanne.
Right. Right.
So...
And even she came back.
Did she? Yeah, I guess she did.
Yeah, she did. She did come back.
Exactly. So there you go. There's your proof. Canceling isn't real. It just lives rent-free in your head.
Yeah. So, no, like, fucking... Another thing that he had mentioned in the show, yeah, like, you'll go home and go on your social media and say something like you came to the show, and then you'll get all the haters talking like, oh, whose jokes is he telling, or some shit like that.
Oh man.
Because I mean, that's the whole reason the internet tried to cancel him in the first place, is because it came out that he was using other comedians' jokes and making them his own.
I have to ask though, just based off what you're saying so far, was this like an actual stand-up routine, or was this like the last time Dave Chappelle did a thing where instead of stand-up he just got up there and bitched for an hour?
Oh, no!
Like,
no! This was a legitimate stand-up special. He was fucking funny. I was laughing. My stomach hurt so bad. I was laughing so hard.
Good to know.
No, it's fucking funny. But yeah, no, it's on Peacock. If you want to call it, wow, words are hard. If you want to watch it, it is on Peacock, and it is titled Carlos Mencia. Here I am.
Here I be. Everywhere I go, there I am.
Right.
Oh, I love it.
No, it was good.
Here's Carly.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad you enjoyed that. So is that a recommend or a review?
No, it was a recommend.
Okay. All right. Well, the last thing for me, it's not a review because I haven't finished it yet, but at the time of recording this, I'm probably like a good, I don't know, maybe halfway through the video game Spider-Man 2. I'm just keeping I'm just keeping my media corner Marvel related today. So, you know the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's an addendum to that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, but instead, make it better. And that's what this game does. Everything you loved about Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales is in this game, but better. The swinging feels better and it's faster. Keep in mind this is a PS5 exclusive, so it's taking full advantage of the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers too.
Oh, I'm so excited to play this.
So when you're swinging and you're squeezing that trigger, you can feel the pressure when you squeeze it. You know, you're getting that out there.
I'm gonna be fighting to win that first place because I have a $20 gift card sitting in my PlayStation Stars for this game. I'm gonna be. You guys.
The gameplay, like the combat is just as fluid as it's ever been. It's even on easy, it's a little bit challenging. I do not recommend taking the narrative route in this game. I would say, but also you don't have to go out of your way and do everything either unless you really want to. For what I do is when I'm swinging to the next story mission, anything that organically pops up in my way along the way, I take care of. So like if I'm swinging to the next story mission and a crime starts happening and it's a few blocks over, I'll swing over and knock it out real quick and then get back to what I was doing. And that's worth it because you're getting experience points, because by the end of the game,
exactly,
in the later stages, and some of these enemies get difficult, you're gonna need those upgrades. You're gonna need those gadgets.
Of course.
But anyways, in this game you play as both Peter and Miles, and yes, you can switch.
That's badass.
You can switch between them at will using the phone app anytime you want, but also
that's awesome.
Certain story moments force you to play as one or the other, you know.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so, and they each have their own series of subquests and collectibles, too. There are certain quests that only Miles can do, and there are certain quests that only Peter can do.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and they both have their own shit going on simultaneously. You know, Peter's doing science stuff for a lab, Miles is doing stuff for his college, you know.
Yep. Makes sense.
And all of their skills are back too. Miles still is like the stealth focused one because he can turn invisible and shit like that.
Now, I'm curious as to if they're ever going to bring in Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider.
I can't say
into these games. I'm waiting for it.
I can't say for sure, and I wouldn't know where I'm at now. But I will say, I can say this. I'm obviously no spoilers. I won't give anything away, directly. But there are some winks and nods to other Marvel properties in here in a way that makes it feel like this world is bigger than it is. And I think Insomniac is in the beginning stages of building their own video game based Marvel universe because
that makes sense.
They confirmed that the X-Men, the Wolverine game they're making is in the same universe as Spider-Man, and there was like when you're in New York, you can see the Avengers Tower. You can see
I was gonna say I know I've seen the Avengers Tower in there before.
You can see Doctor Strange's sanctum in there, there too. You know, and stuff like that. And there's like a couple mentions of him, offhanded mentions of him. So like he's there, he's in the universe. You never actually see him, but like because that's not the focus. This isn't like a bunch of cameos and shit. Like most of the heroes you see are from the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery.
Makes sense.
Heroes and villains. You're seeing characters like Wraith and Black Cat and shit like that. You're not seeing Iron Man and Captain America.
No.
But there are winks and nods to these other characters, and it makes the universe feel bigger, and more alive.
Oh, of course.
And there are some gameplay upgrades in this game that really improve the overall like traversal and playstyle. One of those things is web wings, so you can straight up glide now. And
what?
Yeah, you can glide now, and there is if you catch an updraft, you can go higher, and there are wind tunnels you can glide into that will push you forward really far, and it's like one of the fastest ways to get across one of the bridges, actually. That's the other thing, too. The map is the biggest it's ever been. It's the whole map from the first game and the whole map from Miles Morales combined. You get access to both sides of New York this time, and you can cross the bridge from one side to the other anytime you want.
Very nice.
Yep, so you get the whole map to play with. The other super helpful gameplay addition in this one is the web line, which basically is...
Webline.
Yeah, so basically you aim at a flat spot on a wall and you shoot your web, and it creates like a clothesline from where you're at to that spot that you can walk across. That you can basically make your own path, your own stealth path. Yeah, dude, between those features and the combat and the stealth and all that, this is gonna be nuts. But this Spider-Man 2 is probably the closest thing we're ever gonna get to another Batman Arkham game. Straight up.
Yeah, I would say so.
Straight up, like it's that good. It's that And there, yes, if in case you're wondering, yes, there are more MJ stealth missions in this one, but this time she has a stun gun, and it takes a few hits to knock her out. So they learned the same lesson Plague Tale did. Yeah, and there is one of the things I really like is the representation of the deaf character in this game. Every time she's in the scene, there is a sign language interpreter with her. Yeah, and her subtitles are like, she does sign language and it's just subtitles, and her friends like Miles and Genki, when they're talking to each other around her, they still use sign language so she knows what they're saying to each other. It's really cool. Like,
that makes sense.
Very, very well done. And yeah, there are a lot of characters in this, but there should be. This is like every hero and villain from the other two games are basically in this one.
Fuck.
And the reason for that is because the main villain of this game, Kraven the Hunter, and his people have chosen New York as their new hunting ground, and they're basically capturing supervillains and basically, because Kraven the Hunter, his whole thing is that he gets off on the hunt. He wants a challenge, so they're kidnapping supervillains, and he's hunting down and killing these supervillains for the thrill of it, because that's just what he does.
Jesus Christ.
Spider-Man's trying to stop him, and Venom is involved in the story in this one, too. The Venom symbiote is a big part of the story here, too. So, yeah.
You say less.
Yeah.
Say less.
But we already knew that from one of the gameplay trailers they showed us on a State of Play, where we got to see like 15 minutes of gameplay, because we saw the Venom suit,
Yeah. No, so, I'm excited about that.
So yeah. So yes, there is eventually that's about the point of the game where I'm at. Okay. Yeah. So I can't say much more beyond that, but I will say that your combat skills get a major upgrade.
Okay.
So, but also I'm not going to talk about what happens to which character either. You play as two Spider-Men in this game simultaneously.
Yeah.
So, double the fun. But there's definitely like two separate stories going on here at once. The story of Peter and Harry and MJ going on one thing with their science stuff in the Venom symbiote, and then there's the story of Miles and his want for revenge on Martin Lee, and dealing with that whole thing.
Martin Lee was a shit.
Yeah, well,
in the last couple games.
He's another big part of the story in this one.
God damn it! I'm telling hate you, that piece. Of shit.
I told you, man. This game is literally just like a family reunion of all the heroes and villains from the first two games.
Like, oh, Jesus Christ! Okay.
It is stuff. There is a lot of shit going on here in this game, but
I believe it.
It doesn't feel overwhelming. Everything is so fluid, and you just seamlessly jump from one thing to the next, and it's just like even when you're swinging, once you get close to your goal, it'll automatically jump into a cutscene where Spider-Man will just swing up and land on the nearest thing that you are, and then it'll go into the cutscene. Like, it's
that makes sense.
And you know how in God of War Ragnarok, when you would switch from Kratos to Atreus, the camera would pan over from one to the other, and it wouldn't cut or anything? They do that in this, too. Like, when it forces you from one Spider-Man to the other, but instead of, pan from one to the other, if you switch, like, with the phone, then it'll, like, cut to black and switch to the other one or whatever, but during story moments, when it switches them, the camera will literally fly through the whole city to get to the other one. Like, it just does one take through all the buildings and gets to the other. It's so cool. And literally the opening of this game, like, the tutorial is a boss battle against a very popular Spider-Man villain. Where you switch between Peter and Miles back and forth throughout the whole fight. It's really cool. It's really cool. Kind of gives you your bearings.
That's a spoiler, which is why you worded it like that, correct?
Correct, yeah. Well, I guess it's kind of a spoiler. I mean, it's literally within the first few minutes of the game, but yeah, we'll call it a spoiler. I will say this, though. The aftermath of this fight leaves the town in a very undesirable situation. That you kind of have to deal with the aftermath of as side quests throughout the rest of the game. So
Jesus fuck. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. This has been a really good year for games, and I'm sure we said that, or will have had Ben said it in the predictions episode. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
That episode I will have also probably talked about Alan Wake 2, as well. So. Another good one this year, but you already heard me talk about that one in the last episode, audience.
Sure did.
Yeah, audience did, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, that was my third and final thing for my media corner.
All right, let's do that recap.
Yes, so, first was news, the actors' strike is over, then we had news about Deadpool 3 being the only MCU movie next year, news about the death of Matthew Perry, R.I.P., and then, of course, you talked about the Carlos Mencia stand-up, Here I Am, which can be watched on Peacock. I talked about the Marvels, which is currently in movie theaters and nowhere else, and then, of course, Spider-Man 2, I just talked about as well, which is available exclusively on PlayStation 5. So,
yes.
So, that is your Media Corner recap.
Yes.
Now, on to what I'm sure is going to be the most controversial topic we've ever done.
Yes.
You know what really grinds my gears? This Lindsay Lohan.
Alright, everyone, welcome to this episode's topic, Unthankful, the subversive anti-Thanksgiving episode. And that's not to say that the episode itself is anti-Thanksgiving. What I mean to say is that, every year at Thanksgiving time, people are like, let's go around the table and say what we're all thankful for, before we dig in and all that. And, well, this year I thought we would switch things up a bit and talk about what we're not thankful for, but specifically in media. And I feel like I have to put a disclaimer in here because some people don't understand nuance and satire. Look, this is mostly for laughs, folks. All right?
Yes.
A little peek behind the curtain here. We're doing this for fun, although we may or may not believe some of the things that we actually say today. It's all tongue-in-cheek. it's like
Yeah.
this is just don't take it personal. If
Take it with a grain of salt.
yeah, don't take it personal if we shit on something you like. You don't need our permission to like things. That's not how this works.
No.
So you do you. Taste is subjective. This is just, we're being a little purposely controversial here, just for the fun of it, A while ago, Markiplier on Distractable did an episode called The Hills Will Die On, and they said some fucking crazy shit. Like, Markiplier straight up said that Pokemon was trash. Like...
What? Them
Yeah.
is fighting words.
Exactly. I'm not gonna go that far. So, anyways, see, like, if Ryan was on this episode, he would say Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories is, like, the worst game ever. Like, worse than E.T. Atari, worse than Superman 64. Like,
Oof.
yeah. Uh-huh. And that is a hot take.
Yes.
So, and granted, that is, like, my least favorite gameplay-wise in the franchise, but story-wise, it had good moments. But I'm gonna start us off with a really good one. One that I have been moaning about for a while, and now I got a platform to moan louder. It's
Okay.
character customization in video games. I'm talking about the Bethesda shit where you open on this beautiful cutscene and the guy's like, "Hey, you're awake," and and like either there's dragons or space pirates or some shit, and you're running and you're fighting, and then all of a sudden everything comes to a screeching halt when you have to sit there for 2 goddamn hours and decide what your fucking eyebrows look like. I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't care. I'm playing in first person, first of all. Second of all, I'm wearing a goddamn helmet. And why does any of this matter? I don't care. I forget what I spend like 10 minutes obsessing over this shit for no reason, only to forget what I look like anyways. And then... and it's never good enough. It's never perfect enough. You can fuck with it all day long, and it'll still look like some kind of deformed thing that was created by what an AI thinks humans look like.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It feels
Fucking
like
Skyrim.
it feels like a waste of my time. Nothing wrong with the games themselves. I love Skyrim. I'm enjoying Starfield, Fallout, whatever. But there are other games too that do this. Mass Effect, Dragon Age, two of my favorite franchises. They both have this shit in them. I love those games, but I hate this part of them. I hate it. I like though. I like that Mass Effect gives me an easy way out by having a default option. If you're gonna do this, please have a fucking default option. Just give me a goddamn canonical story mode option for what the character looks like. Let me pick that and just go with it, because it doesn't have to be me. I don't care. I'm going to be immersed either way. So in the Mass Effect games, you can pick the default John Shepard and his default appearance and everything, and you can just play as him, and you're playing the story of John Shepard. Or you can sit there for 2.5 hours and design everything and name the character after yourself. Whatever, it's your story. But me, I don't have the patience for that. I'm trying to get into the game. I don't...
Yeah, exactly.
That shit takes way too fucking long. Saints Row does it, and so many
Cyberpunk 2077 does it too.
Yeah, and I understand. That's like literally part of the story, though, because it's all about cybernetic augmentation. So
Yeah.
I feel like you can't do a story like that and not have it be that way. But at the same time, it's just like I'm simultaneously so indifferent and indecisive at the same time, and those two sides of me clash with this shit. At one part of me wants it to look perfect, and the other part just doesn't fucking care at all. And
See, okay. Here's my okay. Let me interject here for a second. But let me go back to Cyberpunk for a second. I get character customization. I do. But Cyberpunk does something that I've never seen any other game do. Not even Saints Row. You can customize your character down to the size and shape of the genitals.
Oh, Saints Row does that too. Saints Row the third and the fourth and all the other ones, they do that too. Not
Oh,
the
but it's all censored though.
Yeah, it's censored. It's censored. Yeah, it's uncensored in Cyberpunk, but yes.
Uh-huh.
And there's Conan the Conan game, the Conan Exiles, the multiplayer one. Yeah, that one. I think you can do that in there too. I think you can Og have big wee wee. Yeah, type situation.
I'm fucking dead.
Is that club in Og pants or Og just happy to see me? Oh shit. Don't know why I went there with it. But you know what? Fuck it, while we're on the subject, I also want to bitch about live service games, because that's been too much of a thing lately. I should have talked about this in the State of Gaming 2023, but I focused way too much on the positives, because it's been a good year for games. But you know what it's also been a good year for? Jim Ryan stepping down from PlayStation. Good fucking riddance, I hate that guy so much. And he's... stupid decisions. He's so focused on live service games, and he was the jackass that was like, oh, we're not gonna put new games on the PlayStation Plus tiers because then we're afraid the quality won't be as good. You know, I'm like, well, newsflash, asshole, there have been some day one games on Xbox Game Pass that have been fucking bangers. So,
yeah.
Eat shit. Stray.
Right.
Stray was a day one game. Indie may it be, but it was a day one game on PlayStation Plus that was nominated for Game of the Year. So.
Ooh, okay.
It was nominated for Game of the Year last year, like at the official Game Awards. So it was like one of the 6 nominated up against. Of course, you knew it wasn't going to win because it was up against God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring and like impossible odds. But it got fucking nominated out of every game that came out that year. Only 6 get nominated for Game of the Year every year, and Stray was one of them. And
damn,
this asshole is here like, but the quality, fuck you. I'm so glad that he stepped down. And he was making stupid decisions. I hated him so much. I miss Sean Layden. I really do. He was good for PlayStation. You know who I really miss is Kevin Butler. Like, he did the crazy like PlayStation commercials. Man, those were the good marketing days for them. Good PR days. But yeah, Jim Ryan. He's no Phil Spencer. So. I like PlayStation more than Xbox, but I like Phil Spencer as a CEO. Like, the man makes good choices. He's making good choices. Those games they're putting out on Game Pass are kind of at a loss to the company, you know? Like, it's really not profitable for them. They're not making more money off of it than they're spending, but they're still giving us what we want on day one, especially with the exclusives. That's crazy. So
yeah, it sure is.
You know, and yeah, they're hurting their own profits to like give us like these day one experiences at no extra cost. But like, I don't know, Jim, he wanted to push so hard for all these live service games, and that's some bullshit that's irritating me. And for people who don't know, live service games are, and they can be single player or multiplayer, but they're games not including MMOs. MMOs are another thing. MMOs get a free pass on this because of the state of them being MMOs. They have to do this. But there are other games, single player, multiplayer. We're talking games like Overwatch and, of course, games like Fortnite, but also Final Fantasy 15 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla did this too. Games that won't die because they continuously get new content over and over again, and what it is a lot of it is that they are nickel and diming the audience. There's a lot of like unethical business practices shoved in here, and a lot of these live service games are like low effort content just pushed out to like they're free to play, but so many of them can be like pay to win or, you know, pay to unlock these digital skins that are, you know, basically collectibles.
Yeah.
And
Rocket League being another one.
Yeah, and that's cool and all. Some games can do this fine and get away with it. I feel like Rocket League personally was. I'm glad that I got the platinum in that before it became way too tryhardy with the multiplayer, because
Hmm.
I would hate trying to get the platinum in that now. Um,
So with Rocket League, there has been a few skins that I've like shelled out the money to pay for. Like I got the Ecto one from Ghostbusters Afterlife. I have the I have the Ben Affleck Batmobile, and I've got the Robert Pattinson Batmobile. I don't know why I spent money on that one. That one
oh
is
God.
it looks like a regular car.
Okay, so there are good examples of live service games.
Yeah, like
Fortnite, Rocket League, they do it right. They do it good. I don't have any complaints about them. I have I have complaints about some of the people in their fan base. I don't have any complaints about the games themselves for the most part. I think
yeah,
I think that their business model is lucrative and they're doing it in a way where it's accessible if you don't want to spend money, and you can even
yeah.
earn in-game currency to spend without spending real money, kind of like a mobile game, but also like a mobile game, it takes fucking forever. But the point is, you don't have to, like in Fortnite, you're not getting an advantage in the game with the shit you unlock by spending money or unlocking it. They're just skins. That's literally it. Skins, emoji, shit like that. As far as the actual gameplay, that is the same for everyone.
There was
So
one other car I had. It was get this out of there out of the way. It was the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
on that note, same for Rocket League. These skins and shit, these fancy hats and what, they're not giving you an advantage in the game. They don't increase your hitbox or nothing. No,
No,
it's
they're just
still the
cool as
same.
hell.
It's still the same for everyone. It's still the same
Yeah.
skill based. So those I can appreciate. Here's where I have a problem. Here's a recent perfect example of this. Konami, these fucking assholes, they oh, they put out a like live service Silent Hill game on mobile devices, and
The
it
fuck?
was like it's basically like, in when I say live, I mean actually live, as in you had to tune in while it was happening, and you could watch basically this like pre-recorded adventure happening, and the audience that's watching would vote on the choices the character would make on what happens next, and the most votes would win. But here's the real kicker: if you want your vote to be prioritized, you can pay money. That's the kind of shit that gets me. That is live service is a cancer in that regard.
Fucking dicks.
That that is, yeah.
They can
I
eat a
don't
bag
like.
of dicks.
Yeah, it's nasty. It's gross. It's icky. Konami are bad, and I'm glad that one of my favorite horror developers, Bloober Team, is doing the Silent Hill 2 remake. But I'm very worried about the fact that Konami is even involved, even a little tiny bit, and that I don't know. I guess we'll see. But yeah, they also did it to Metal Gear Solid with their live service game for that one, Metal Gear Survival. They turned it into a fucking zombie game and added a bunch
Jesus
of.
Christ.
Dude, in that game, you had to buy the ability to save your game. I'm not
That's
shitting you.
fucked.
Yeah. That's the kind of live service shit that pisses me off. It's so stupid. Um, yeah, that is just when they're nickel and diming people, and I also hate.
That's some
I'm
bullshit though.
I'm glad that they actually made laws about the in-game gambling stuff, because like, quite frankly, loot boxes and the way that they were basically gambling, considering that a lot of these free-to-play games audience is mostly kids, I think it's very predatory. I think
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
like, and it's basically gambling, and kids shouldn't be gambling. So,
No.
yeah. So that is um
Jesus fucking Christ,
yeah, but
man.
yeah, you get the point. There are good live service games, sure. Some of them are fine, but there are a lot of them that there are a lot of games that are coming out and they're trying to be Fortnite and it's just not working. And so many games are shoehorning battle royale shit into
Uh,
franchises that don't need it. Like we didn't need a battle royale game set in the Final Fantasy VII universe. That was fucking stupid. And it was on
Yeah.
mobile devices. It was on phones too. Like why do the developers that I loved as a child now make decisions that are borderline just fucking stupid?
Business suicide.
It is. Oh my god. I just have to wonder, like, so many, they're chasing the live service thing. Frankly, I think, and it's the Suicide Squad game too. When I was so excited for the concept of this when they first announced it, Suicide Squad has to fight the Justice League, who have all been possessed by Brainiac, and it's in the Batman Arkham universe, and it's the final performance of Kevin Conroy as Batman before he passed away, and then we saw the gameplay, and oh fuck, this is a heavily multiplayer focused live service game. Son of a bitch. Yeah. It didn't.
My question to you is,
It was
because
disappointed.
because it is Kevin Conroy's last performance as Batman, would you cave and get it?
I ain't buying it. I would maybe Gamefly rental it, but I ain't buying it.
Fair.
I can't support that decision. Now, hopefully, I think they actually delayed the game so that they can pull a 180 on all that shit, and that is fine if they're gonna do that. Because I mean, come on, Rocksteady, you guys made the Batman Arkham games. You're better than this. I mean, well,
Yeah.
you were. Batman Arkham Knight was kind of a red flag, if I'm being honest. It was
Yeah,
good.
they
It
were-
it was good, but it was the beginning signs of a downfall for sure.
It was. I mean, it was pretty decent. I think.
No, the game was good, but there were some elements of things in the game that, if you know where to look and what to look for, you can see some of the developers' failures leaking through the cracks. You know, you can
Microtransactions.
start to notice, yeah, when they start introducing things like microtransactions, like that was the turning point for me with Ubisoft. Sure, they introduced multiplayer into Assassin's Creed, and back then, I actually liked that competitive multiplayer. Assassin's Creed had some bitchin' ass multiplayer, you know? And I actually played it with some friends like Dylan and them online.
Nice.
Uncharted had really good multiplayer too, and those were good multiplayer games. They were well designed, but now all multiplayer is a bunch of microtransaction riddled, fucking toxic fueled shitfest in most games. Not all, but most.
The only microtransactions that Grand Theft Auto Online has is the shark cards. That's it.
Yeah, which is like, I mean, I guess
I
get it, but just let people buy the shit directly instead of all this in between nonsense.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I can't tell you the last time I bought a shark card. Because
in-game
when
currency or something.
they
did that GTA Online. They did that GTA Online Plus thing, which I think is kind of stupid because, like, you already
No, actually,
you paid for the game already, but you already paid for the game. So why are they nickel and diming you for more content? You know what I mean?
Actually, I can attest to GTA Plus. I actually have it. Every time your build, it's $5.99 per month, and every time your build, you get $500,000 deposited into your Maze bank account in game. Not only that, you get access to like exclusive like GTA Plus member events. One of the features that is cool as a GTA Plus member, the gun van. You can put a waypoint on it. If you don't have GTA Plus, you basically just have to happen upon the gun van.
Okay.
It helps.
I hope you realize what you're basically telling me here is that they locked normal gameplay features behind a paywall. That's not a selling point. Like, the ability to set a waypoint, I can do that in Assassin's Creed for free. Like,
No.
Maybe
you
I'm
can
missing
set a
some
waypoint.
context here, I think.
Okay,
But
so you can set waypoints in game, no problem, without GTA Plus. It's just the gun van you can put a waypoint on as a GTA Plus member.
Okay.
So as a GTA Plus member, you always know where the gun van is. If you don't have GTA Plus, you're lucky to come upon it.
See, though, that still kind of sounds like, no, we're not cutting off 3 fingers, just 2. like, I mean, sure, it's better by comparison, but it still sucks.
the best part of GTA Plus is the 500 grand that they deposit into your Maze Bank account, because last time I checked my GTA Online account, I was sitting at like $2.5 million in my GTA Plus account, or GTA Online Maze Bank account.
I can see it being worth it for people like you that play the online a lot, but I do feel like they're starting to Skyrim this game a bit, and it's really showing, and it's about time. It's about time that they put it to pasture and moved on to the next thing already.
Yeah, I'm just ready to hear about GTA 6.
And maybe I'm a little salty too because they've re-released GTA 5 1,700 times, but we got a half-assed port of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, that was fucking Rockstar. Do better. Come on now.
Seriously, again, I said all of our childhood developers are starting to fall from graces. The franchises we grew up with are starting to smell.
Grand Theft Auto is Rockstar's cash cow, though. That's their baby.
Microtransactions are usually the first red flag. Once they start adding in a bunch of that shit, and it's not. In some cases, it makes sense. Like, you want to buy costumes in Mortal Kombat and shit, whatever. I don't even consider those microtransactions. That's just full-on DLC. DLC is fine. It depends on the game. If you want to add like a 15-hour expansion to a game and charge $20 for it, like they do with The Witcher 3, that's cool. That's worth the money. That's a whole lot of extra game right there. That's more story and gameplay for $20. But what I can't stand is, like, in Assassin's Creed Unity, they're like, oh, you don't want to go in this area yet because the enemies are too strong for you right now. You're going to need to upgrade your shit. But, oh, darn, money's so hard to come by. Perhaps maybe you want to buy some microtransactions? Fuck
Jesus
you.
Fuck.
It's some bullshit. Yeah. No, that was one of the hardest Assassin's Creed for me to get through because of that reason alone. I hate when they lock progress behind a paywall. Another thing is too, I'm fine with DLC that was made after the game and all that, but what really sucks ass is sometimes developers will decide before they release a game to randomly cut a section of it out, and so that they can release it as DLC later and charge more. And that is that is some sketchy ass shit. And you can tell when they do that because sometimes you'll find the evidence of a missing section in the game when you're playing it. And you're like, that looks like it's going to be something later. Yeah, they had planned it all along.
I'm going to do a callback to South Park, The Stick of Truth. I would not be mad if they released what they had to cut down as DLC for South Park, The Stick of Truth within the next couple years. I would not be mad because I would. Oh my god!
Speaking of games with character customization,
I mean, okay, yeah, character customization, yeah. Fucking. Oh my god. No, fucking. The shit they had to the fact that they had to push that game back so many times just tells you how far they were willing to go before the FCC would let them release the game. Like, no, you got to cut this out. No, you got to cut this out. I would not be mad if they released that shit as DLC. I would not be mad.
Yeah. So, I think I've been going for a hot minute here. I think it's time for me to cool my britches and let you take the reins on a rant for a while.
Okay. So
I know you had a little bit to say there, but the spotlight's yours now. Enjoy the hot seat, my friend.
See, okay. I'm gonna switch over to movies and or TV shows here for a second. Coming from personal experience, the loss of a child just for views. No, it's not like I love Game of Thrones, but that is the one complaint I have. There's too much child death in that show. I have found myself looking away from the screen when something is on screen. Another example of this, a movie from one of my all-time favorite horror franchises, Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Jigsaw was another hard one for me, simply because of how the child died. Or not how the child died, how it was made to look the child died. But that's... And the fact that that bitch got what she deserved.
And then some.
And then some, yeah. Like you don't smother your child.
And
Just
then to
'cause you gotta
frame
just-
someone else, too.
Yeah, to frame your fucking husband, that's low. And it's not like he could control what he was doing in his sleep. People roll over in their sleep.
To,
That one just hit home for me too much.
yeah. Yeah.
No, that one hit home for me real fucking hard.
You would probably not like Pet Cemetery.
I've seen Pet Cemetery. Okay, it's the smaller children that bother me more when they die in the movies or TV shows.
But on that note you mentioned with the horror stuff, I just want to squeeze in there real quick. Not a big fan of when they do legacy sequels and bring back the OG character just to kill him off in some unspectacular fashion. You know?
See, they didn't do that with Halloween. Like Laurie Strode survived through the whole fucking thing.
But you want to
Even
know what
through-
you want to know what they did do it with?
Huh.
Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, yup. And they did it with Scream too.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but
Yup.
you know.
They did it with Scream too. Yep.
Although in that case, I wouldn't say so much a legacy character as someone who's been in literally every movie. Legacy characters are like when you haven't seen them for years, for a
Yeah.
long time. They were part of the original 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, but tell us what else you're not thankful for.
Let's see. I'm gonna hop over to the WWE for a second because there's a lot I have to gripe about the WWE.
Really?
Yes, there's a lot. Okay.
This man's gonna complain about one of his loves.
Oh my god, dude. I love the WWE, but at the same time, I cannot fucking stand the fact that they don't give enough. One of my biggest gripes is, one, they let fucking Logan Paul in the goddamn WWE for God knows whatever reason. Fuck Logan Paul. Fuck you.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
No, fuck Logan Paul. But on the same note, a lot of the bigger names have been the only ones that have been getting TV time. Give the fucking up and comers fucking TV time. Give the mid card fucking wrestlers fucking TV time. I haven't. Yeah, I know Randy Orton is one of the bigger names, but he hasn't been out. He hasn't been in action for a while because he's been out on injury. But when he's one of the bigger names. Even he wasn't getting enough TV time when he was still on before he got injured. And I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Roman fucking Reigns. Roman Reigns title reign needs to come to an end. Because I have something that I need to say about an OG WWE superstar by the name of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was a better champion than Roman Reigns. Example. Oh, that doesn't. Okay, so yes, Roman Reigns has had over 1,000 days as champion. I think I'd have to look it up. Hold on. But basically, here's my point. Both of these men had title reigns of over 1,000 days as champion. Roman Reigns has had 54 title defenses. Get ready for this. Get ready for this. Hulk Hogan, 468 title defenses. Fuck you, Roman Reigns. Give that shit up. The bloodline needs to come to an end because that is the only reason he still has that title is because Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa are basically his insurance policy. When they feel that he has been he's met his match, they find some way to interfere and make sure that he wins and retains his fucking title. That is one of my biggest gripes with the WWE. That shit needs to end. Roman, fuck you.
Well, that was. You know what? I'm going to applaud that one. I don't think I've ever heard you just kind of monologue for 5 minutes straight like that before.
I used
Boy, you
to
can
be
really go off when it's something you know about, huh?
Okay. Another thing, I used to be a huge Roman Reigns fan. Loved everything he used to do. But as soon as he formed the bloodline and became the tribal chief, I'm like, this dude's an arrogant prick. Well, I understand he's an arrogant prick because he turned heel. That's the wrestling term for a good guy turned bad guy. Another gripe that I have with the creative team for WWE. Fuck you guys for not allowing Bray Wyatt do what he did best. That man was a creative genius. And if y'all would have just listened to him for 2 goddamn seconds, you would have seen his full potential. But it wasn't even the creative team. More so Vince McMahon, because everything had to go through him. So many ideas, from what I understand, have been shot down. They didn't utilize him as much as they could have. And the fact that the whole reason Bray Wyatt got released from his contract in the first place wasn't because of budget cuts. This is another gripe, and I'm so pissed about this because there was so much of the talent that got let go that were at the top of their game in the WWE, and as soon as the announcement was released that they were being released from their contracts, it was a shock to the whole fucking wrestling world. The fans included. Everyone, the biggest upset was when Bray Wyatt got released from his contract in July of 2021. late July of 2021 because nobody saw it coming. But they tried to cover it up by saying, "Oh, this was done as budget cuts because we're in the middle of a pandemic." Bullshit. Vince McMahon paid millions of dollars to female employees, former employees, to keep hush. That is why all of these so-called budget cuts happened. And Bray Wyatt's career suffered for it.
Ooh.
Fuck you, Vince McMahon.
Scandalous. This is getting spicy and kind of therapeutic. I want to circle back a little bit before I forget, and just want to say on the thing you mentioned with the kids and media. I know two people who can relate to that, but with cats and dogs.
Okay.
And, you know, there's a website called doesthedogdie.com that you can look and see if the animal dies before you watch the movie.
Yes.
It's a big thing, and I agree. I fucking hate when horror movies kill cats. Dogs bother me too, but not as much as cats. There's nothing.
That's fair.
When, like, I hated that shit in Smile. Like, I like Smile, but I hated that part when they use the dead cat as like a for shock value or as like a part of the story. It's some bullshit. I hate it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Happened in The Collector too. It's awful when they do that. It's so unnecessary and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just not a fan. Not a fan of it. All right. But yeah, back to you. Anything not. So you got a pretty big wrestling bit out there. So anything?
Yeah, I sure did.
Anything else in movies?
I'm glad I got that out there.
Anything else in movies or shows that bother you, or in video games, or anything like that? Or any movies or shows or games themselves that bother you? I'll tell you real quick, I hate reality television. I can't stand it. Most of it's not quote-unquote real anyways. It's all scripted, forced drama bullshit, and I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me. It seems just too, I don't want to say what I really want to say because it's going to make me sound pretentious, but it's trailer park TV.
Fair.
I don't, yeah, it's not for me.
Fair. A movie that was ruined for me in more ways than one was V for Vendetta. It was overplayed, and the fucking anonymous bullshit has stemmed from that too.
Ooh, this is the spiciest take so far. Keep going.
Oh my god, dude.
Yes.
Like, oh my.
Shit on this popular movie cinema sins. Let's
god.
go.
Oh my god. No, it was overplayed, and I think it had something to do with just the fact that every time I turned around, I saw one of the individuals living in my house at the time wearing one of the masks, and I'm like, why? Fucking why? Why? Fucking why? Is it necessary?
Because we are Legion.
This is not fucking Halloween. Take it off.
Oh, that's beautiful.
God damn.
I love it. Oh, that's a good one. I can't think. Is there something? You know what? Actually, I've got a hot take. I actually think that The Last Jedi was a good Star Wars movie, and that it was bold and ballsy for being as subversive as it was. I think it was a good thing that it broke the traditional storytelling formula. I think it was a good thing that it gave the finger to tradition, but fans didn't like that because they wanted safe.
Shit, I liked it too.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I could have done without the casino scene. That was a bit stupid.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, though, like, I genuinely liked it. I liked how they went, like, and the Leia floating through space scene was kind of weird too, but still.
That and fucking Luke Skywalker pulling a Yoda.
Yeah, yeah, but I do. No, I mean that's one of the parts I liked about it. It was what
Hell
made it
yeah, like it
what made
pushed
it
it to.
subversive.
It was so good.
And the only reason that Rise of Skywalker was so bad is because it went out of its way to undo everything the Last Jedi did instead of just
See,
working with it. It worked
I didn't.
against it.
I'm not gonna lie. I liked Rise of Skywalker too. That's probably a hot take, but I liked it. I liked all of the sequel trilogy movies. Fight me
Yeah,
about
and you're allowed. And you're allowed to.
it.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. I don't care. Yeah, here's another. Oh, okay. I've got one. Well, this isn't. No, I'm not go. I think I'm doing this wrong because this is supposed to be unthankful. This is the things we're not thankful for. I started getting into hot takes, and that's not what I was trying to do.
No, we can do it. We
That's
can
the
do.
first over there.
Let's say hot takes. We can do another episode on that.
Because I was literally about to say Last of Us Part 2 is better than the first one.
Oh,
Yep. That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. But I can't say, I can't do unthankful. No. I can't fit that into unthankful. This has got to be things that I am beoichin about.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Some complaint. This is the one time that we get to vent our frustrations with the media and shit. That
with specific aspects of media, storytelling, game development stuff. Yeah, here's another one. When developers rush a game out to meet a deadline and they know that it's not ready, so they're like, "Oh, it's fine. We'll just release a day one update patch to fix it." Like
there was a WWE game that happened with and that was WWE 2K20. They pushed it out too soon, and the glitches were fucking ridiculous. I did not ever experience any of it myself because I did not buy it at launch. It was all of the pre-orders and people that bought it at launch that experienced this. I enjoyed it.
Here's one from me. The movie Don't Breathe 2, an unnecessary sequel that makes a unredeemable asshole into the hero.
Yeah.
The blind man from the first movie is not a good person, regardless of how much the movie wants you to think he's the victim. All that gets undone with the big reveal near the end of that movie. So, yeah, and to make him the hero in the second one is just tasteless and stupid. I'm not going for that. I'm gonna complain about something in one of my favorite franchises, actually, believe it or not.
Oh,
and it's the fact that the main villain of the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise somehow got redeemed at the end of the third game. Some horseshit, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And completely undeserved. Xehanort does not get a happy ending. He doesn't deserve a happy ending. I don't care if it's Disney. Go fuck yourself. That man caused a literal genocide. He trapped Aqua in the realm of darkness for 10 years. He put Ventus into a coma. He possessed Terra's body and basically left him for dead. Like, he ruined everything. He was the start of all of this. He caused everything to happen that led to the chain of events that led to Sora's adventure and everything that happened to them. Fuck that man. He destroyed worlds. He is a murderer. He killed people. He turned them into little shadow demons. He is a bad man. He was hell-bent on world domination and war, and at the end he gets to go to fucking Keyblade Heaven? Eat my ass. I'm not okay with that.
What can you do? What can you do, though, right?
What can you do? You can not write stupid. You can write a better ending. You know? You could maybe do that.
I mean, like you said in the crossovers episode, if it weren't for the fact of one of the heads of Square Enix and one of the heads of Disney getting stuck in an elevator together, this franchise would have never happened. So
yeah, I love Kingdom Hearts, I do, and I'm gonna keep playing them as long as they keep making them. But that is a anticlimactic horseshit ending for that saga, for that particular part of the thing.
That's fair.
God, why does it feel like the game that was supposed to be the end of a saga really just feels like more bridging the gap between this part of the story and the next? You know.
Yeah.
They just tied up a bunch of loose ends and then introduced more shit for the next part of the franchise.
Jesus fuck.
At the end of the day, that's all it really was. But yeah, so that also, here's something else that I hate, and this is gonna sound very selfish of me, and I don't care. That's the whole point of what we're doing here. And my apologies, Nick, because I know that this was useful for you. But a prime example, I hate when anything basically expositions all over the place for the sake of people who haven't been a part of stuff. Like, they do this in the MCU all the time. I talked about the Marvels earlier. Well, there's a couple scenes in here where they give you exposition. Captain Marvel is recapped in a coma flashback, and the rest of the shit is told through dialogue. There's too much telling and not enough showing when you do this, and Kingdom Hearts 3 was super guilty of it because they were like, oh no, we released 1,500 side games and not everybody played all of them, so we gotta explain what happened because it's important to the story. And they literally have the characters sit there and vomit dialogue all over the place about what happened. Like, you could just... I love Kingdom Hearts, love it, but that is bad story writing. That is bad storytelling. Don't do that. Show, don't tell. Let the people... treat your audience like they're actually intelligent and let them figure it out for themselves through context clues. You don't have to spoon feed every last bit of information to everyone. And also, fuck those people anyways. It's their own goddamn fault they didn't play those games. Don't hold back the people who were loyal and played all of the games, and make us sit through all of this recap shit for the sake of holding the hands of the people who didn't. If they really cared that much, they could go on YouTube and watch an explanation. That's what it's fucking for. Right. There's literally a feature in the title menu of Kingdom Hearts 3 that recaps all the games, and then they continue to fucking recap it in the opening music video, and then they recap it some more in the dialogue in the game. It's just recap after recap, and this is an anime cliche. I love My Hero Academia, but every episode opens with like a minute and a half of them recapping their dialogue from the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
It's so anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, woo, man, I feel like I just got done exercising. Say that shit. All right, it's your turn. Say more things.
Let's see.
You don't like stealth.
No.
And you don't like when games that aren't stealth games force stealth on you, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of stealth shit.
I'm sure there are some exceptions, though. Like, Miles' stealth features in the Spider-Man games are pretty cool.
And Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because it's a Norse mythology game.
Yeah, not a lot of stealth in that one, if we're being honest.
Yeah, true.
It's more Viking raids. Not very stealthy when you're blowing a horn and announcing your arrival. True. Hey, I'm an assassin. Sneaky, sneaky. They'll never find me here. Yeah.
Okay. Here's a hot take. Or not necessarily a hot take. I hate it when fucking movies recast a main character. I can't stand that shit. Like, Matthew...
You mean like in the sequel, if it's not the same actor?
Yes.
So you're not talking about remakes, you're talking about sequels?
Yes.
Okay.
So, like, Matthew Broderick was Inspector Gadget in the first Inspector Gadget movie, and then whoever the fuck was in the second one, I don't know. But let's see another one. Brendan Fraser was George in George of the Jungle in the first one. The second one, they recast him. Couldn't fucking stand that shit. Let's see.
They do be like that sometimes. In all fairness, though, sometimes this happens simply because the original actor just isn't available. Scheduling conflicts and shit,
Yeah, I get it,
happens.
But still.
Right, but that's not the point of the episode. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm saying myself. That's not the point. But
right.
Yeah, but we are allowed to debate the things. There is that. But it's
fucking,
But no, you're right.
Fucking, what was another one? So I loved the Mummy movies. I loved the Mummy movies. I had an issue with the third one. The third one recast one of the main characters.
Oh yeah, it was the lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Transformers did this too with Megan Fox.
Oh, I have another movie I need to gripe about because it falls in place after the fact that I enjoy the Mummy movies. Whatever that
Okay.
abomination was in 2017 with Tom Cruise, nah. This is one of those scenarios where if it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it. No, that no, just no. Can we just pretend that didn't happen?
Yeah.
I wish we could pretend that didn't happen, but it did. It did. And it was god awful.
I guess something I'm unthankful for, but realize is an inevitability that can't be stopped, is that we are slowly but surely pushing towards an all digital future. Some big name games have come out digital only this year, and physical
Really?
copies are. Yeah, Alan Wake 2 is only available digitally. Now, in all fairness, they did. They since it's only available digitally, and they did it to cut down costs on printing discs, but
Uh,
since it's only available digitally, it's only $50 instead of 70.
that makes
um
sense.
but Baldur's Gate 3, which is the most popular, like the most talked about game this year and will probably win game of the year,
Mm-hmm.
uh is only available digitally, and it's still a full $70 game, and that irritates me.
Jesus. Yeah,
If we're gonna push towards the digital future, then we can't be charging $70 for games anymore.
no,
It's got
no,
it's
that's
gotta
just
it's gotta go down.
something's got to give.
If you're saving money on not printing discs, then that needs to be reflected in the price of the product.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we can't. It's getting to be. I can understand still charging more if somebody wants a disc copy, because at that
Yeah.
point it's like an artifact. It's like a collectible.
Exactly.
But if they're just gonna buy it, the quote unquote normal way, then don't charge that much.
That's what I'm saying.
You know. Or put it on your if you want to push to these cloud streaming things, then put it on your services.
Right.
That's the whole reason I subscribe to Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, is because it saves me money on games.
Yeah.
You know,
Hell,
especially new releases.
PlayStation Plus is how I've been able to play Man of Medan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Yeah, I'm glad they put it up there.
Me too.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna try and breeze through this one and then move on to the next one.
You sure you don't have any other games you want to harp on?
Fucking Roblox. I know the fan base behind this one. I've never played it, but it was ruined for me. I'm not gonna go into details and how, but just the mention of Roblox throws me into a tangent.
Yeah, no, he's not kidding, folks, because I saw it on the PlayStation Store the other day, and I was like,
Bro,
"Ooh,
I'm like,
a multiplayer thing,
Why?
Maybe we could give it a try." And I told him about it, and this man turned into the Tasmanian Devil. He was like, "Roblox, blah, blah, blah." You're like,
Yes, no, dude, it was. Oh my god.
oh yeah, he turned into the triggered meme, super quick.
Facepalm is all I have to say.
Oh, that's fucking great. Oh, but it's no different though. I've heard you say similar things about Fortnite and Call of Duty, so
Call of Duty is a whole nother monster. I don't.
yeah.
Okay, this is a hot take because I know there's a lot of people out there that like Call of Duty. I don't. You know why? Because it glorifies war. Ah. The first experience I had with Call of Duty was on the Xbox 360, and it was for the game Call of Duty World at War. I couldn't do shit. I couldn't do shit. I don't remember if I was playing co-op or campaign, but it wasn't for me.
Fair
Now,
enough.
I will say though that when they released Infinite Warfare or was it Advanced Warfare, the ones the sci-fi ones.
I think both of them were.
I played both of those.
Okay.
I didn't play through the whole thing because I eventually got stuck. But again, that one's not realistic. So I felt it was deemed necessary or safe for me to play because it wouldn't set me off.
Mm-hmm. I would say you're right about the older games. They kind of had this like, hey look kids, war is fun aesthetic to it. But
Right.
even though it wasn't meant for kids, but they knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
But just like GTA, they know what they're doing.
That's why I
But-
steer clear of the public servers on Grand Theft Auto Online. Those fuck nuggets are fucking toxic as shit. That's why whenever I log on to GTA Online, I make sure that I spawn either inside one of my properties, and then I go into the pause menu, and I immediately find a different session, and I go for a closed friend session. That way, if anybody joins my session, I know it's somebody that's not gonna fuck with me.
Yeah, those same assholes infected the Red Dead Online servers and made them
Yeah,
unbearable too. But back to what I was saying,
so toxic.
you're right. You're right about the older games. I will say though, I think the newer ones completely different tone. Because from what I've seen recently in the latest Call of Duty, you can play as Nicki Minaj fighting zombies, and that doesn't feel very war to me.
That sounds like Fortnite.
Yeah, it basically they literally introduced a battle royale into one of the Modern Warfare remakes called
Jesus
Warzone.
Christ, they're
Yeah,
hurting
Battle
for money,
Royale,
huh?
Battle
They need to-
Royale
they
is
need-
a Warzone. No, they're just chasing trends because that's what they do. That's their thing. And yeah, but they added weird ass skins to the zombies mode in the latest game, and it does feel kind of very Fortnite-y in a way.
Jesus Christ.
But I am interested in playing like the campaign of the Modern Warfare remakes 1 and 2 specifically, because
Yeah.
I've heard really good things about the way the story goes and how they show the horrors of war. You know, there's like torture scenes and shit like that, and that's all
Yeah.
you gotta tell me to get me interested, is that there's some fucked up shit that's hard to watch, and I'll be like, all right, bet, challenge accepted. You know. So, you know, it's like I went out of my, like, I was looking up a list of like the goriest, hardest to sit through horror movies, and I was like, all right, cracks knuckles, let's do this.
See, the one there's a movie that I don't know, like I want to see it, but at the same time I don't, because of what I've heard is in it. A Serbian film.
Yeah, no, I watched a YouTube recap video, and that's good enough for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, trust me on this one, those are waters you don't want to touch. I can consider myself being, I will say I am unthankful for these existing for no more reason than shock value bullshit, all borderline snuff film movies.
I was gonna say another movie that I regret watching.
Although Funny Games
And
is
then-
really good. That's on a list of hard to watch, but really good.
Okay. Another movie that I regret watching, but then I ended up watching the second one and then the third one. Why? I don't fucking know. Human Centipede.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Why did I do that to myself?
Talk about body horror.
Why didn't we talk about that during the Halloween episode?
because we're trying not to remember it.
Right.
That one's supposed to go in the depths of the memory bank, the far away place.
Yeah.
Oh, oh man. Okay, yeah, I'll tell you. Well, here's something I'm not thankful for.
What's that?
Teen Titans Go.
Yes. No, get rid of that
That's-
shit. No, they
yeah.
fucking they made it they made it look like all rainbows and butterflies. When the the OG Teen Titans is the only Teen Titans. The fuck?
Yeah,
And if you want to get technical,
with the
if
crossovers,
you want to
and
get
shit.
technical, there is a live action version of Teen Titans over on Max called Titans.
Yes,
And it's a good fucking show. Check it out. it's a more adult, grittier version of Teen Titans.
Here's some other kind of media things I'm unthankful for now that you mentioned that. HBO Max changing their name to Max. Elon Musk changing Twitter to X. These
Fuck
are stupid
Elon
changes.
Musk. Fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah, these are
With a
stupid
rusty
changes.
fork.
Why do change? Why make
Fuck-
change?
Fuck
Change is
Elon,
dumb.
Fuck Elon with a rusty fork.
Yeah, that too, I suppose. Oh shit! But don't want to veer too far off into left field there. But yeah, I can see what you're talking about with There was a very controversial mission in an older Call of Duty game. We talked about it before, called No Russian, where you were undercover with the bad guys and had to basically mow down an airport full of innocent civilians.
Yeah.
Not fun. At least it was skippable, but still.
Yeah.
I'm curious about what they might have done. If you want a good war game though that shows the horrors of war and is actually enjoyable and it's single player and it deals with mental health and all that, play Spec Ops: The Line. That's the game to play.
Okay.
That's the one. That's the one right there. That's a beautiful game.
There's
Very underrated.
This is another thing I have to complain about, especially when shows are basically make themselves famous for killing off main characters. Game of Thrones. Fuck Game of Thrones for
The Walking Dead.
For fuck yeah, shit like getting you emotionally invested in these characters and then just no fucks given, just killing them off.
See, I have to say, I like when things started doing this because plot armor has unfortunately been a trope for way too long, and it was always safe to assume the main character would always survive because they were wearing plot armor. But when shows started killing off characters you think would have that, it started becoming like, oh shit, no one's safe. Now the stakes are high, and I'm more invested. It's like anyone could die at any moment. You know,
Yeah.
It keeps you guessing. It raises the suspense. But then it started happening too much. It started becoming a trend, and everyone started doing it. And then
Who started it first? Do you remember?
Either Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I know.
It had to have been one of them.
It had to have been.
Yeah. Yeah, it became a trope it became a trope in and of itself. Usually, the thing story writers need to learn is that when you subvert tropes too much, the trope subversions then later themselves also become tropes. And then too must be subverted, putting you in a unwinnable catch-22.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how it is. It's just let's try shooting for a little creativity. Maybe that's the now that these strikes are over and everyone's getting their dues and everything, all that, maybe we'll start seeing some more like enthusiastic writing.
Take notes, Hollywood.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Nobody in Hollywood's gonna hear this. I bet. I don't know.
And I'm not complaining about remakes or anything like that. That's like another. I hate when people hate on a remake just because it's a remake. Like whatever.
Yeah.
But like I am saying that more original stories would be nice. Give us something, that's not just a retelling of the same thing all the time.
Live action remakes. Disney.
And not even just remakes, just like, like the same story with a different name. Like, there's different, like, how many rom-coms have you seen that are all completely different movies but basically all have the same story?
Pretty fucking much.
Like
Twilight.
literally every Adam Sandler movie.
Twilight.
Yeah, so that's the other thing too. Here's another thing I don't like. I hate when people idolize shit characters. I hate when people see a character that's supposed to be unlikable, supposed to be an asshole, supposed to be the villain, and they're like, you know what? This guy's got some good ideas. I like him. I think I'm gonna mold my life after this fictional dickweed. Like, that is stupid. There are people who watch Rick and Morty and think that Rick is someone to idolize. He is not. There are people who watch The Boys and think Homelander is someone to idolize.
Fuck,
He
no,
is
he's not. No.
He is not.
Farthest thing from it.
Honestly, I'm a little scared of people who idolize Homelander, if I'm being honest.
Right, yeah, no, I
That's-
fucking can't stand his ass.
That's a
No, but I will
dangerous-
say-
that's a
I will
dangerous
say-
mindset.
I never idolized these two evil characters, but I did go. There was a point in time where I liked these characters, probably more than one should. Darth Vader and Darth Maul.
Well, but Darth Vader is very likable. Darth Maul. You know what? Star Wars gets a pass on this. You don't.
Okay,
plus,
fair.
Darth Vader gets a redemption arc.
Oh,
So there's that too.
And Joker. Can't forget Joker.
Yeah. Well, Joker is one of those love to hate villains.
Yeah.
Like Jigsaw, or just that's another thing too. Jigsaw is also not a villain to idolize. Tobin Bell is a great actor.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
Those are great movies. He does it very well. But he's not right.
No,
he's not correct.
No,
No.
he's a murderer.
Yeah. So, but it's crazy that there are people out there that like see these characters and think to themselves, yeah, they've got their shit straight. Norman Bates, what's his nuts from American Psycho, Christian Bale's character.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The toxic boyfriend from You on Netflix.
I've not seen that, so I wouldn't be able to vouch for that. But okay.
Yeah, there were people that idolized the Harley Joker relationship, which is not a good, like, that's a toxic relationship. That is not a good relationship to idolize.
No.
I get the concept, but that is but you know what? They fixed it with the Harley Quinn show by putting her with Poison Ivy and her breaking off from the Joker.
I watched a couple episodes of that recently.
Such a good show.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
But we're not here to compliment things. The hell's wrong with you? Anyways, oh shit! Hey, you know what? I also don't. This is gonna sound hypocritical because I'll obviously flock to the latest game system every time a new one comes out, but I have a excuse for that. It's that you need them to play all the new games that come out. There's a longevity in your investment. It's kind of worth it.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is when people buy the brand newest phone that just comes out, like the year that it comes out, and it's like $1,000 and it does all the same shit as your previous one but shinier. Like, I don't and they keep taking features away rather than adding them sometimes too.
Like the new iPhones that came out this year, for the first time, iPhone has USB-C instead of the lightning cables.
Yeah.
And pretty soon here, and I don't like the fact that Apple does this because not everyone that has an iPhone can afford to upgrade to the latest and greatest. But here's the thing: they're basically going to start forcing people to upgrade because they're going to start phasing out the lightning cable chargers. And there's points in time where the lightning cables they break, or I think the only backup to that for me, because I've got the 12 Pro. I believe the iPhone 12 series was the first series that was compatible with MagSafe. So I've got a MagSafe charger as a backup in case my lightning cable takes a shit. So Yeah, that's my gripe with Apple. They're basically, yes, I love Apple. Don't get me wrong. I love their music integration with shit. But the the fact that they're basically forcing people to upgrade to the new phones.
Fair enough.
Like, I'm to the point, yes, I would love to get the new one. Would absolutely love to get it. But I've heard nothing but horrible things about it. I've heard people have had nothing but issues with their 15 Pro Max, and it's like overheating type shit, battery life. Like, fuck, guys. Did you release the phone too soon?
Yeah. Um, you know what? I'm gonna squeeze in another quick one here before we start wrapping it up. I'm gonna say I hate pointless fuck you endings in things where it's like so like if it's in a horror thing or something I kind of get it where they're like yay we all got away and thing all of a sudden like the
Yeah.
hand pops out of the grave and it cuts to black. It's like ah ooga booga, that's fine. But I hate when it's like like they wake up and the whole thing was a dream or some dumb shit like that, or it
Yeah.
was like or they're like I hate cop out endings basically. Like I hated the ending of The Wicker Man, I hated the ending of Shutter Island. Like to me when it's like oh it turns out that you were crazy the whole time and the whole thing was a hallucination, that's the same cop out ending as it was just a dream to me, just with a
Yeah,
different
exactly.
different flavor icing. you know I hate the oh it turns out they were crazy in an asylum the whole time and the whole game or movie or whatever was happening in their head. That's so lazy and dumb. I hate it so much.
Exactly.
I you know like that's just an easy way to write yourself out of a corner.
Yeah. No,
I also hate when
absolutely.
story writers use time travel to write themselves out of a corner too. They're like,
Mm.
"Oops, oopsie doodle, we killed off a bunch of characters and we don't know what to do now, so we're just gonna use time travel to fix everything." It's
Right.
fine. It's cool. Time travel and magic. Just hit the magic reset button. That's that's all it is. The Kingdom Hearts did this with Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was because they were like, "Oh shit, we killed all the villains and we need them for the final showdown. Better find a way to bring them back."
Right.
So yeah, that's just kind of like again. I love people are probably surprised I'm like shitting on a series I love, but I have issues with it. Okay, I love it, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. There's only one perfect game in that franchise, and its name is Kingdom Hearts 2.
Fair enough.
For me, objectively, it's Birth by Sleep, but, but
Fair
for
enough.
me, it's Kingdom Hearts 2. But yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I hate whammy. I guess they're called whammy endings, like rug pull endings when it's not good. Like I love a good plot twist, but I
Yeah.
hate when it's a fucking cop out. I hate when it's like oh, so none of it mattered. Then if it wasn't real, if it didn't happen, then you wasted my time. Is what happened.
Pretty
is
fucking
what
much.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And then they all have a laugh about it, like, well, I guess we all learned a lesson here today. Yeah, the lesson was don't watch any more movies directed by you.
Right.
Like, no, hey, God, it's like, oh, sometimes that irritates the shit out of me. I don't mind
Yeah.
I don't mind a nihilistic ending when it's done right. If it serves a purpose to the overall narrative, or if it's like a funny gag at the end of a horror movie, or if it's
Right.
a cliffhanger for a sequel baiting, that's fine. But if it's just if it's just a big fuck you to the audience, I hate that so much.
I've got another one I need to gripe about.
Okay.
There's a show that I watched on Netflix. And think it was a CBS show. It only lasted 3 seasons. And then they canceled it.
Okay.
It didn't get a proper ending. Nobody's picked it up. The show I am referring to is is based on a James Patterson book by the title of Zoo.
Okay.
They left this show on such a fucking cliffhanger. I'm so pissed about it. And somebody needs to pick this show up because it's so good. Missed opportunity, man.
I think that at some point we should do an episode about TV shows that ended too soon.
Yeah, I think that
I
might
think,
be a good idea.
or just franchises that ended too soon in general, franchises that ended prematurely before they got an actual ending.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do that. But before I forget, there is another big one I have to mention, and that I know I mentioned reality TV earlier, and that's one thing, shit like Jersey Shore, like Survivor, and all that stuff. Like, oh, I'm out in the wilderness dying of heat stroke, and I'm barely wearing any clothes, and then when the cameras are off, they go back to their trailer and take a shower. Like,
Right.
I fucking hate it, but um. What I hate more than that is exploitative reality shows where the shit is actually real,
Mhm.
but they're making a profit off people's suffering. A lot of this TLC type shit, like Honey Boo Boo when that was a thing, and
Oh, dude. Okay.
even worse is like stuff like, yeah, and they've had like shows following around like Teen Mom, that is so, like, why do people watch that shit? That kind of drama. Why? I don't get it. It feels like you're getting your enjoyment off the suffering of others, and I don't understand that.
You want to know? You brought up Honey Boo Boo, and then I thought I had a thought. Yeah, when they canceled Jersey Shore, some fucking some faith was restored in humanity. And then they
Yeah.
aired then Honey Boo Boo premiered, and that faith was just gone instantly.
Yeah, South Park did a real good episode about that one. James Cameron raising the bar.
Yes.
But, I'm guessing they were fans of the first Avatar.
Right.
But okay, so the other thing I want to say about that, though, and on the note of Honey Boo Boo, is the child exploitation reality shows really irritated me too. Because here's the thing: the same people. I'm gonna veer a little bit into territory I don't normally veer here, but it's contextual here. The same people that are going around calling drag queens pedophiles and shit like that are the same ones that were dressing up their kids in a bunch of makeup and stuff and having them parade around on stage to be judged by a bunch of old adult men about how good they look, and these toddlers and tiaras pageantry shit.
Yes.
Disgusting. I hate it. There's no reason for that, and the people who do it and the people who watch it are the same ones that are like, oh, protect the children from the gays, look at what you're doing.
Little Miss Sunshine, for example.
Yes, that was played for laughs in that movie.
Though. It was a good movie. I'll have to.
Yeah, no, that was played. That was meant to be that movie was pointing out that it wasn't okay. That was the joke. But yeah, those types of shows should not exist. There's no point. There's no reason for that.
No,
it's not good. Not
Netflix
good
got a lot of heat for that. The show that they put out, didn't they?
Yep. They sure did. Not a good look at all whatsoever.
No, definitely not.
Oh, man. I gotta be honest, not necessarily something I'm unthankful for. Before we go, is there anything that you don't like that you can't explain why? You don't have a genuine reason, it just never clicked with you. For me, it's fighting games that aren't cross-brawlers. Like, stuff like Mortal Kombat and Tekken and all that. I like watching the fatalities and shit, but as far as the gameplay itself, it just doesn't click with me. It's too involved. I just don't have fun with it. I like Smash Bros. And shit like that, but I don't like normal fighting games. I can't get into them. I don't know why. I don't have a legitimate reason. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just not for me.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, no. This is going to sound a smidgen hypocritical, but I like the Zombieland movies. I like anything comedy having to do with zombies, like Shaun of the Dead. Let's see. Warm Bodies was another one that I liked. But the whole zombie genre, this is a hot take. I think it's overplayed. I think it's overdone. I don't like it. And I don't know why. Although I will say, I did enjoy Dawn of the Dead. I did enjoy Dawn of the Dead. That is the only zombie movie that's not comedy that I will say I actually enjoyed.
Didn't you like the live action Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich?
Yes.
That's a yes with a question mark.
Did those movies the reason the question mark was there is did those movies have zombies in it? I don't remember. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, no, they were only like the main bad thing throughout most of the franchise.
I thought it was all God damn it!
Well, it is sci-fi, but the T virus created zombie-like people. You know.
See, I didn't even look at it as zombies.
Later in the franchise, they do start, like, and the movies and the games do this. They're meant to feel like zombies in the original games, and even, like, in Resident Evil 4, when they get infected with the Las Plagas and stuff, they act zombie-ish, you know?
Yeah, I never put two and two together with the Mila Jovovich movies.
But as the franchise goes, you start getting more and more like, you know, like you shoot a quote unquote zombie's head off and a bunch of tentacles pop out of it and start attacking you. So, you know, and so that's different. You know, it gets very sci-fi. You know, there's giant monsters, giant spiders, giant alligators and shit. You know, there's a big hulking guy in a trench coat with a rocket launcher chasing you around, big mutated guy who turns into a giant monster later. All the villains turn into giant monsters, so I guess my question is, is it really zombies anymore? Probably not. It's really just sci-fi monsters at this point.
Exactly.
I mean, Resident Evil Village is straight up vampires and werewolves created with science experiments.
Yeah.
Yeah, no joke. They went full balls to the wall with it. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about it when a video game franchise goes through a huge tone shift? Like Saints Row did this. Saints Row 1 and 2 were a lot like GTA, more serious and gritty, or like Mafia. And then Saints Row 3 and 4 just, for some reason, decided to be like Deadpool and get really fucking goofy.
Yeah.
You know? Like really fucking goofy.
Yeah, they did.
Like giant dildo as a weapon goofy.
Dildo guns, yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts. I think sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's not. You know, it really depends. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Assassin's Creed games shifting over to an RPG format. I preferred the stealthy time. But it was, you know, it did make the games more accessible to a wider audience. So I can't complain about that too much. And I still enjoyed them for what they were, so, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I think we've ranted and raved enough about things that we are...
I think we both got some frustrations out there, didn't we?
Yeah, things we are not thankful for, and good thing we got this out in between the Game Awards predictions and Game Awards reactions, because this and the Tearjerkers episode are both a little more on the negative emotions side of things.
Yeah.
So we got some fun stuff coming up. We've got the Game Awards talk, and we've got an episode all about holiday media, you know, Christmas movies and specials and stuff, so it's gonna be brighter stuff here, though. This episode was meant to be fun, though.
Yeah.
You know? I'm sure we pissed someone off, but it was meant to be fun.
Yeah, no.
So, either way, well... Anyways, if I have offended you in any kind of way, then feel free to come at me on the website formerly known as Twitter at Oversoul53, and also, you can reach me in the YouTube comments. YouTube is where you're gonna want to be when I do that contest, so be sure to subscribe so you know when it happens.
Yes.
And, of course, I'm other places too, but whatever, who cares?
If you want to come at me with some words of... I don't know. If I offended you, you can come at me again on the website formerly known as Twitter at the Vaping Fiend. I'm on TikTok at the.vaping.fiend. And why not? Give me a follow on Twitch as well at the Vaping Fiend.
Yes. Alright, folks. Well, that'll be it for this episode.
Yeah.
You know. And as always, stay safe out there, have fun, happy holidays and all that. And we'll see you in the next one.
All right. Bye.
Good night, everybody.